Hey, what's up, Hilo News family? Welcome to another episode of the Can We Talk podcast, our show where we talk to dope people in the community doing dope things. And today is no different. We're still in our special election edition of the Hilo News Can We Talk podcast. We're talking to candidates from all over South Florida in different races. And today we have another candidate that I'm excited to bring onto the show. So without further ado, I would love to bring onto the show Karen Hunter Jackson, who's running for Miami Gardens City Council. Hey, Miss Karen.
Hey, Janae, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. Thanks.
I'm good. Look, just to give some people behind the scenes, I'm like, we've been trying to get this going. So I'm happy that we both have been able to sync up our schedules and have this conversation. So welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
Of course. And so, as you heard, we're in our election coverage bag right now and interviewing local candidates because we think it's important for our audience and just people in general to know what's going on in the community around them, especially when it comes to politics and policy. So, we'll hop right in. You're running for Miami Gardens City Council seat 5, correct?
Yes.
And you're in this race, and I wanted to know, before we get into all the nitty-gritty of your platform, I want to know, what was it that made you say, I want to run for office?
Residents for the last 2 years have been pushing me to run because I've been doing a lot of community work, and anytime they needed an advocate or a voice or someone to speak out on an issue, I was the person that they would come to, and they said, "Really, you should really do this." And I pushed back for a while, and I showed up to church one Sunday, and the pastor said, "Hey, what are you waiting for?" And I said, "Well, let me pray on it." And then every time I turned around, someone was saying, "Listen, we need you. Please do this." And so that was the confirmation, and I decided to go ahead and do it, to run.
Wow. Well, congratulations on that. Anytime we have people that look like us, I think in the process, it just makes for a more equitable government. So, kudos to you for doing that. I wanted to know more about your platform. What are some of the things that you want people to know that you want to either change or focus on if elected to city council?
Okay. Um, I'll just mention a few because there's so many and we don't have enough time for everything that I'd like to accomplish. But my background is in tourism and policy administration. But on the tourism piece, Miami Gardens, as I see it now, is a drive-through destination and not a drive-to destination. All of the money goes into the casino or either Hard Rock Stadium. And we have the opportunity right now, before all of the land is sold off to developers and what have you, to write our own future, to create our own brand aside from being the home of Hard Rock Stadium. And that means entrepreneurial opportunities for young people because it's entrepreneurship, small businesses that are really the backbone of communities. So the more that we can create those opportunities, the better for our community. Uh, in addition to that, safety, traffic, speeding is a big issue for our residents, and that's one of the things I'd like to take on. The There are some issues that we can't tackle directly, like affordable housing, but we can do some things where we can allow residents to have more money in their pocket by subsidizing some other things, and then those funds um, are now they're now able to use those for housing costs. Uh, Additionally, the elderly and communication, there are tons of resources out there. The county has resources. All of these different organizations have resources. Not everyone is computer literate. And so I'd like to bring the resources to the people. Right now, we're rehabbing homes of elderly residents in a project where we partner with the crime watch groups, and we basically knock on the door, have them identify the door, and develop a relationship with that elderly person, and we're able to then help them make a change, whether that's giving them uh, a walk-in shower because they can't get in the tub for years, or if they're disabled and they can't look out of their window, replacing the window that's been boarded up. So it's not a big program, but it makes a big difference to those elders. And then for youth, I'd like to, my vision is to create a comprehensive program so that when young people, 10th, 11th, 12th grade, uh, already have a connection and a path where they've, I don't want to say not a signing bonus, but where they've signed on to either vocational school or college or the military or a construction trade, so that they're not going from high school to Burger King or McDonald's and trying to figure it out, getting caught up in the minimum wage trap. And some people have to work, and so there's nothing wrong with working at those places. However, that in and of itself uh, doesn't have to be the career path for all of our young people. So those are just a few things that I would like to see.
Thank you for breaking that down. And a lot of the things that you touched on have been, hot button issues in the community for a very long time. And, it's a really good transition into my next question about Copa America. I've been asking everyone from Miami Gardens, whether they're candidates or elected officials, about Copa America, and just wanting to see everybody's response, especially candidates, on what they would want to do or see different in that instance. And just to give, the audience some a little bit of background, like with Copa America, the soccer game that came, was it last month or a couple weeks ago,
Yes.
with the destruction that happened at not only Hard Rock Stadium, but the trash and the traffic and everything that was left around the surrounding areas of
Mhm.
the stadium. And a lot of people in the community did not like what they saw. And so, from a safety standpoint, I'd like to know, if elected, what would you do, especially with the World Cup coming to Miami Gardens? What would you do if elected, to make sure something like that doesn't happen again? And then also to share your thoughts on, like, um I guess, improving traffic flow for residents and things like that. Like, let us know your thoughts around those two things.
Okay. With my background being tourism and marketing, I've actually coordinated two Super Bowl bids. And the one thing I know is that if you're going to host a major event, whether it's the Olympics or Super Bowl, you send your team in. You send police, you send fire, you send code enforcement. So they to the event the year before. So they have firsthand knowledge on, and they meet with their counterparts, and they have firsthand knowledge of what to expect. What are these? What's the mo for these this group of tourists or visitors or event goers? Because each group is a little different. And so you come back home knowing that, well, for these folk that are coming, and if anyone knows anything about soccer, people die at soccer matches around the world. And so you can't
Intense.
use, you should know that you can't use the same method of security that you would for an average event had you done your homework. And so my idea is to do our due diligence and not rely on the stadium to meet with our elected officials and advise them that the proper protocols have put in place to ensure the security and the well-being of the residents, because we elect people to represent the people. And so the stadium's main goal is driven by profit. And so I don't have any problem with them. It's not their fault that well, I'm not going to say fault, but that's just not going to be top of mind for them. Top of mind for the stadium will be profit, and so uh, we as a city, and if elected, I would I would demand that there is responsible partnership, that our our team has to have firsthand experience of whatever major event they plan to bring to our city. And if it is not a fit, and if we cannot support it, then there needs to be some kind of give and take. I'm not sure what uh, policies or legally the city, what legal measures the city can do to ensure that they ensure the quality of life and safety of our residents. But I would look into that and um, make sure that if they want to have a good relationship with the city, then they need to have a good relationship with the residents. And those go hand in hand.
And then, what would you like to do if elected to address traffic concerns when there are events at the stadium?
I would do what many uh, destinations do, and that is you have best practices right here, excuse me, at Disney. It could be a billion people coming into Disney, but they can tell you how to make that experience palatable. And so we don't have to reinvent the wheel. We need to study and bring in experts in traffic flow. And so we, as individuals, I don't care how bright you are, how smart you are, none of us have all of the answers. We can do is hire people and bring in consultants that are the experts in that field, and then use them to create our own, tweak it to meet our needs, because we're unique as a bedroom community with a major stadium right smack in the middle of everything. So it's not that we can't do it, it's that we have to have the will to do it and to bring in those experts and then execute. So that's what I would do.
Gotcha. Thank you for breaking that down. And another question I would like to ask you is about economic development. There's a lot of new businesses, and even with the breaking ground on the 35 acres there on 27th and what is that, 199th or 183rd? Um, well, sandwiched in between those two,
Right.
there's the new entertainment complex and center that are coming. I would like to know, if elected, what would you do to make sure that local businesses are included in that process, or that boom of business that's going to be happening in Miami Gardens?
Right. I'm glad you asked that question. One of the things I would do is to look at, first, I'd evaluate and do my research to see what agreements have already been made. Who are the players who are making the decisions? Are these non-compete contracts? There are all kinds of nuances that you have to look into to know what you're dealing with. Does that private developer have sole discretion to do whatever they want to do? Once I find that out, then that will, uh, in the event that they have sole discretion and that's the agreement that was made, then there's the conversation to be had to say, listen, I realize that this was the conversation, that this was the agreement. But again, as a good corporate citizen, um, let's talk about how you can include um, uh, the local businesses into this agreement, and and then go from there. Uh, in addition to that, in looking at developing an entire strategic tourism plan long term, right now it appears as if we're just letting tourism happen. and we're building this and we're building that and whatever. But I haven't seen a strategic plan that says this is where we're going. For our small businesses, let's create a plaza that has unique brand of cultural, so people can come in and have their cultural experience, because we're unique in that we have so many different cultures here, and we can take advantage of that, because when people travel, they look for cultural experiences. And so we have to figure out how we can create that, and then bring our small businesses into that, so that we have the small, unique, um, you know, shops, trendy shops that people will want to come and sit with, outdoor fans and patios and waterfalls and whatever we need to do. But we have the opportunity, if we do a strategic plan and not let the land be sold to developers without including our small businesses as having priority in entering those, in having businesses in those facilities, and then partner with Miami-Dade Economic Advocacy Trust and whatever other entities that are out there to say, can you, and I know that there are grants out there, and there uh, that can help them with the, once they lease, to help them with the build out of their businesses. But if we don't take the bull by the horns, if you will, and develop this plan, it'll be haphazard, and the local businesses will be left out.
Gotcha. Thank you for breaking that down. Karen, I like to talk to people about where they're from. Hilo News is about hyper local content, and where you're from and where you're connected to is a part of our brand. So I want to
Mhm.
know, let us know a little bit about like who you are. So where you originally from? Where'd you go to high school? Like if it's from
Okay.
Miami, like let us know a little bit about your background and also to your
Okay.
career path.
Okay, I am the granddaughter of Bahamian immigrants who came here during World War II to work on the shipyard and to help build Miami. My grandparents lived in Good Bread Alley. If any of your grandparents know about the old Overtown, that's where the old Bahamian immigrants lived. And my dad was in the military, and he was in the Air Force. So I was an Air Force kid, born on the Air Force Base in Roswell, New Mexico. Do not make any alien jokes.
Oh, from Roswell.
Yes. And we traveled around. We lived in Germany and Las Vegas and California and everywhere. But we settled in Miami because Miami is home, was home to my grandparents, and we returned here. And I attended Liberty City Elementary and lived in Sugar Hill for a while in
Oh,
Liberty
wow.
City. Yes, yes, yes. So yeah, yeah. I grew up, spent good amount of time in Liberty City, and I attended Miami Central, and I was a cheerleader
Okay.
at Central.
Oh, you're a rocket.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm a
okay.
rocket. I'm a rocket. Yeah. From Miami Central, I went on to Bethune Cookman University. It was Bethune Cookman College at the time, and I am a Wildcat. Hail Wildcat if
Mm,
you're out there.
okay.
Yeah.
HBCU grad.
Yes. 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 And I was a cheerleader there. And from there, I went on to, I came back to Miami and started my career primarily in human resources. I worked in the hotel industry at Doral as a personnel manager, and from there, the University of Miami as the assistant director of human resources. I went from there to the city of Miami Beach as their director of diversity and their equal employment opportunity officer, investigating complaints of unfair hiring practices and training all of the departments on basically how to behave.
Mhm.
And from there, I went to the Greater Miami Convention and Visitors Bureau. I started there as Director of Human Resources and Administration. And I ended my career there as what was it? Vice President of Operations and responsible, working in the executive division, being the right hand of the CEO, being the interlocal representative. So I worked with all the different cities and municipalities, especially, well, cities and municipalities, the same word, but but at any rate, when you're going to coordinate a major event, you have to be able to deal with everyone. So it's whether it's the hotels, the limo companies, the venues, everyone plays a part. And so having to work and pull people together and get everybody to play nice was my job. I served in that capacity. I served on the board of the Tourism and Trade Consortium for Miami-Dade County. And what that meant is that we traveled the world putting together trade and tourism deals to bring more people, because the more, they call it, more heads in beds, the more
Mhm.
tourism tax and the more money that goes into our county's coffers. And that money rolls out and keeps our tax dollars down and what have you. And I was instrumental in scouting and bringing the Black Film Festival here when they were in Acapulco. And
Wow.
you meet a lot of nice people. I met Beyonce when she was just when she was just her and her girls when they were still
Destiny's
together.
Child.
Destiny's Child, yeah. And
Oh my
they
gosh, you met the queen bee?
yes,
I'm
yes.
sorry,
And
you can't mention Beyonce here and not, like,
they keep
what was she
going.
like? I gotta know.
Yeah, and
No,
at
what
that
was Beyonce like? What was
she was
Beyonce?
just a regular, girl. I mean, she was just happy to be there. And it was, you had a lot of fledgling stars. Anthony Anderson was there because they were previewing Baby Boy, and he won the award for best actor. He was staying at the same hotel we were in. He came back to the hotel, stood at the front door, greeting everyone like, give me my props.
Wait, Anthony Anderson from Blackish?
Yes,
And he
he
got
was
an
in.
award for
He
Baby Boy?
he, he, he was he was in Baby Boy. If you remember the
Was it
safe that they were dragging or trying to
Oh, you
steal,
talk
the
about
ATM.
barbershop. Here's the
Yeah,
thing, Miss Karen, I
I
am
got
a
it mixed
black
up.
I'm a black cinema connoisseur, and I knew you meant barbershop, but I was
Okay,
like, "Wait, let me make sure we're
okay,
talking
okay. It
about."
was a minute ago. It was a minute ago.
No, no, no. Either way, you had interaction with the Anthony Anderson. I love Anthony Anderson.
Yeah, yeah. And he was so down to earth. And he was like, I'm here for the people. Y'all come up and talk to me, and he was just so humble. It was amazing. Yeah.
That's what's up. ABFF is like one of those, to me, um, hidden things. Hidden things almost from, like, the black community in Miami or South Florida. It's like a lot of black people fly in from other parts of the country, but a lot of times we don't know that it exists. So the fact that you
Right.
had a hand in bringing that here, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, one of the things, because it wasn't easy bringing it here, because
Mm,
remember at the time that was the black owned hotel was new, right?
mm,
Don Peebles owned the
mhm,
hotel, and he helped orchestrate, for a good word,
mhm.
and get people to see that it was a fit for Miami Beach, because there were the powers that be that did not think it would fit their community. And
Mm,
so bringing it back to Miami Gardens, I understand that every community looks at what's a fit for their community. And so we have to determine what's a fit for our community and just not let anything occur here that's going to impact our residents and without any say.
Mm. Thank you for breaking it down. I love a good anecdote, and anytime you can talk about Beyonce, I'm with it. Who knew we'd be talking about Beyonce in candidate, local Miami Gardens candidate interview? But Miss Karen, this has been a good interview. Thank you so much for breaking everything down. I've been asking all of the candidates, just to let people know in their own words, why should people vote for you for Miami Gardens Council Seat 5?
I am the candidate that walks the walk. I am rehabbing homes of elderly. I am protesting when I need to. I attend city council meetings to push back on things that I don't feel is good for our community. I ask those hard questions to get the answers, like why was the soca tournament here in such a fiasco? I've fought
I
for
mean,
a safe drop off.
The Copa America. I want
The
to make sure
Copa
you,
America, the
yeah.
Copa America, yeah. With kids being dropped off without having a safe drop off pickup area at Norwood Elementary School. It took us about 10 years to get that done. They finally approved $650,000 to build that. And it was supposed to be done prior to the school year, and it hasn't started. So as soon as this campaign is over, I'm gathering those residents and we're back at hammering to get those things done. I have not waited to get elected to serve. I have been walking the walk in serving because that's what I do. I'm a community servant. And so, if you're looking for someone who's going to fight for the residents, to speak truth to power, that has the a unique skill set that we need in this moment, then you would vote for me, Karen Hunter Jackson, punch number 372, and I thank you. Oh, remember, the good Karen. How about
I'm
that?
like, "Wait, what?" I got that joke. Karen, before you go, let people know how they could connect with you. Are you on social media? Do you have a website? Let them know how they can connect with you.
My website is Karen for MiamiGardens.com. That's Karen, FOR, MiamiGardens.com. I'm on Facebook and Instagram. Instagram is Karen, the number four, Miami Gardens. And on Facebook, it is Karen Hunter hyphen Jackson campaign.
Gotcha. Thank you so much. If
There's
you're
a
looking at the
protest
screen,
from there.
yeah, I got Karen's Instagram on the screen. So if you want to write that down or go follow her, you got that there. Thank you so much, Karen, for coming by the show. Thank you for making it work and work with me with all the changes that I had in my schedule. But I'm glad we had this conversation, and this is the purpose of these candidate interviews, is to get people to be able to hear more of the candidate story, learn about them, and so that they can make the decision for themselves, the best decision for themselves at the polls. So thank you for coming on to do
Thank you for
that.
having me, Janae. I
Of course.
enjoyed our chat.
Yes, and now you're a friend of the pod, so make sure that you come back. Yeah, news information that the High Low News audience needs to know about. Come on back. Come on back with us to have a
Absolutely,
conversation.
absolutely.
I mean, you know Beyonce, so you gotta come back.
So I'm good, right?
This has been another great episode of the Can We Talk podcast. Hello, News family. Make sure you're following us on all social media platforms. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, TikTok, MySpace, Black Planet, all the things. Make, make sure you guys are following us on social media. Also, too, if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you hit that like button, that subscribe button, comment. All of those things help us in the algorithm so that we could get more followers and more views, so we could keep doing this type of content and bringing this type of content to you. And also head to highlowNewsMiami.com, sign up for our email newsletter. We have exclusive content there for our loyal followers. So you don't want to miss out on that exclusive content that we have. Guys, thank you as always for rocking with us. This has been another great election edition of the podcast. Thank you, Miss Karen, for coming on the show. I appreciate you for sharing your story with us. It's been good. Guys, until next time, we'll see you then. Thank you again, Karen Hunter Jackson, and good luck in your campaign.
Thank you. Thank you, Janae.
Bye,
Bye.
guys.